I am in with 2023 Houston Texans Courage Award recipient John Metchie. John, first of all, congratulations on winning the award and thank you for joining us to chat today.
Thank you and appreciate you for having me.
Awesome, John. All right, well, let's just kind of get right into it. And, you obviously have a special story when it comes to winning this award. But can we first talk about just being voted on by your teammates? So, you're a rookie going into last year and being voted by your teammates and knowing that you have the respect of that locker room at that, point in your career is something truly special and really doesn't happen very often when it comes to the Black Courage Award. So what does that mean to you knowing that your teammates picked you for this award?
Yeah, it just I mean, I guess that's the highest honor, like what your teammates and what your team thinks of you, because those are the people that kind of see you every day, right? Those are the people that see how hard you work and how much you really put into it. So to me, that's one of the highest honors.
Absolutely. And the award is it's an award that a lot of players say, hey, I don't want to win it, but then they truly appreciate it that much more because of that, because they knowing that you're being voted on by your teammates. Your story obviously special. Something that doesn't happen very often, and hopefully doesn't happen often across the entire league and entire the world, but it does happen. And going through a cancer battle, like you did, and especially so early in your career, just kind of stepping into the NFL, just getting your feet wet. Can you kind of walk us through, what the process was to get you back on the field? I understand, a lot of players go through these rehabs and things like this, but you have a specialized way that you had to get back on the field, but you had to get your body right, yourself healthy first. What was it like that year, extended period of time that really, got you back and playing for the Houston Texans?
Yeah, that year was challenging and unique for sure because you kind of have to face a battle on two fronts. Like one, just getting into the league, you now have this new setback, and your dreams kind of look like they've been put a little farther again. So you kind of have that physical aspect, and then the one, of course, clearing the treatment and making sure that you're healthy first and foremost. That you understand that your health is everything in this life, and how important it is. Um, so it was kind of a battle on two fronts, and it takes a lot of mental and emotional battle, and it's good to have a great support system like the one I have, my family and friends. But it was definitely a battle on many fronts.
And look, going through an experience like this, you've obviously, um, you know, have kind of been a mentor as well and kind of been a leader in the community. Tell us, this award isn't just about coming back from injury or coming back from, tragedy. It's also about what you do in the community, and tell us why that's so important to you and why it meant so much to you to start giving back.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, it's all about the community that we're in and the community that we surround ourselves in. And for me, like being in MD Anderson, the community of people I met there, whether it be the nurses or other patients, they gave more to me than I could have gave to them. Just by the conversations we were having, the time we were spending together, getting a different perspective or hearing somebody else's story while I was in there. So I tried to do a lot of things to give back and help others. But for me, there were a lot of special moments and people in there that really affected me in a great way.
There you go. And good, a good segue into our next question is, this is something we bring up to everybody, and we get the array of stories. But who was your biggest inspiration growing up? Leading into becoming an NFL player and making it and getting drafted.
I think my biggest inspiration would probably be like my mother, family for me. It would probably be my mother, just like us being raised in Africa and her moving us to Canada for a better life, and just how hard she worked to do that for my brothers and I, and how she did it so effortlessly and selflessly, it seemed like, and without any complaint. And that's all she did. And then I think another one would probably be an athlete would maybe be like Kobe Bryant, right?
It's
So I think a good mix of those two is what helped me get through it. And when times get tough, you really ask yourself who you are and what foundation and principles do you stand on, and you lean on that. And for me, it's just simple hard work and determination.
That's look. First of all, Kobe is kind of league wide at this point that everybody kind of respects him across all leagues, NBA,
Yeah,
NFL,
across
right?
everywhere.
He's just kind of everywhere. And it's, I was growing up, and I'm a little bit older than you, but when I was growing up, I was always like, oh, I wasn't a huge Kobe fan, but just seeing him after his career was over was what really inspired me to truly love Kobe as well. So it
Hmm.
wasn't just about his playing days, but I absolutely get the dedication he did to the community and things like that, and respect a lot, and I respect everybody that kind of looks at him in a bright light as well. So, let's talk about your background. You did mention it a little bit, and you're kind of a world traveler when it comes to you kind of moving around a little bit. Have a very unique background, like you said. From Africa, moved to Canada, Taiwanese, right, as well is
Hmm.
in your background as well, and spent some time in Taiwan. So, what has that experience meant to you, being able to kind of see a little bit more of the world? Even though it might have been even tough growing up, but looking back on it now, what it meant to you to kind of, be able to see different, cultures and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of meant the world, and I think the moment we're talking about for me getting sick, that was a moment where all those things could shine because for growing up in different countries, it was kind of like perspective. Like you gained a lot of perspective on a lot of things, on different types of people and cultures. So for me, like when I got sick, it was like I had the perspective of like there are other people that have it much worse than you do and are very like far less capable physically than you are. So it gave me a lot of courage and a lot of strength there to attack the treatments and attack getting back to it, right? And then also just how to adapt. Moving a lot to different environments of different people and cultures, you learn how to adapt and how to find yourself in this new space, and how to thrive in that new space as well. So I think that also helped me, and it's helped me growing up. It helped me in college, but helped me a lot during my time in the hospital on just being able to adapt to this new situation and just attacking it head on.
There you go. And all right, the last thing about your upbringing, and I gotta ask, and you just spent some time in Taiwan. You're down in Houston, which I've been to Houston. We did a Courage House dedication down there. I ate brisket for 4 days straight in Houston. But I got to know from you. You spent some time in Houston. You've got all this, different cultures. What food are you picking between Houston barbecue, Taiwanese food, the African food, everything that you grew up with? What is your favorite food? What's your favorite type of food? Is Houston barbecue up there on the list? Because I know it's certainly up there on my list. Because I got a dinosaur bone for a rib the one time, and I was like, all right, well, I'm in. So
Nah, Houston's definitely a very special place for food. Shoot, yeah, you could say almost worldwide, but in the country for sure, it's definitely a special place for food. For me, I think I would have to say my Taiwanese background would take the cake for
there you
that
go.
one.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Mom's home cooking. Anything special that you're asking for on your birthday or anything like that?
Nah, everything. I'm just
Everything. There you
everything,
go. Anything
everything.
mom makes. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So now the last question I got for you, and it's, I've floated this around with a couple of the other guys that have won the award this year. Foster Moreau's won. Obviously went to LSU. Obviously a big Alabama rival.
Hmm.
We got to talking, and then I talked with Tyquan Lewis over at Ohio State. So now I'm asking you, what college is wide receiver you? Like, just give me your argument for what college is wide receiver you across the league.
Um, Alabama, Alabama. It's not even debatable. But I would say my argument would be you look at the list of receivers and the history of the receivers from Alabama, and then you look at the list and the history of receivers in the league. Like just do those two comparisons but for all teams, and I think Alabama will
Right?
be up top.
It doesn't
I don't
doesn't
think
hurt
it's
that
debatable.
you play with a bunch of guys that were first and second round picks as well, right? Like that's something that comes up a
Exactly,
little bit.
exactly.
So
I don't think it's debatable. It's cool. It's a cool controversial conversation, but I
there
don't
you go.
even get into it because I don't think it's debatable.
There you go. There you go. All right. All right. Well, we're gonna finish up, and we're gonna finish up with some questions that we got from some of the kids that we work with over here at St. Vincent's Villa, which is the Ravens Courage here in Baltimore, Courage House here in Baltimore. And they got some tough ones. So I'm gonna give them to you. Take your time answering. Some of the guys have gotten stumped over these. So I'm gonna give you a couple
Yeah.
ones. All right. First one. Looking back at your playing career before you got to the NFL, So whether it was college, high school, even like Pee Wee football, what is your favorite football memory from when you were growing up?
Um, my favorite football memory from when I was growing up. I would just say the excitement of like getting to a practice. Like when it's kind of new for you and all that, and you finally are able to start playing and you wanted to play, and the excitement of just like you have practice every day and those things like the practice and the games, like you just can't wait to be on the field and just be playing. I think that's the best part because like going through high school and going through college, it gets a lot tougher and more stressful. But people seem to lose sight of that, and that's kind of just the love for the game. And I think, especially for me, what happened to me with my situation and finding like that love, the fuel to that fire being revamped in a different way. Like I think that's all it's about. That love for the game and just the excitement of getting to practice and not letting all the extra things, whether it's like politics or like workouts or like um, just situations define and blur that filter of the love for the game for you.
So first person ever to say that they enjoyed practice the most out of everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's, so I'm gonna make sure D'Amico doesn't see this, so it doesn't put you to work too much more. So there we D'Amico is also a pass recipient. Just going to throw that one out there for the Houston Texans
Yeah.
as well. So,
Uh-huh.
all right. Since you've made it to the NFL, and I know you're still young, and you kind of had a busy couple of years since making it into the league, but since you've been made it into the NFL, what has been the favorite thing you've been able to purchase? It doesn't have to be the biggest purchase. It doesn't have to be the most expensive, but what's been the favorite thing you've been able to go out and buy since making it to the NFL?
Um, that's a good question. Um,
I told you they're tough. Them kids are tough. They want to do the hard hitting stuff.
yeah, no, that's a great question. Um, huh. I think I mean, they might not like this answer, but it's very true. Like you'll get a couple things that you want, but I think just the ability and being a kid that like couldn't afford to really
Right.
get anything at any moment I wanted. I think there's the freedom and ability to like be able to just get the little things you want. Like you see something in a store and you're like, ah, that's kind of cool. Or you want a couple pairs of shoes and you're like, yeah, I really want this. I think just that freedom and ability to do little things like that are a lot better than like one big thing. Like let's say it's a car you've always wanted or something like that. I think just living with that freedom of like, I'm in the store, I want this, like I'm gonna grab it.
All right, at this point, we're gonna have to check your birth certificate because you're not talking like a 22, 23-year-old kid
Yeah.
anymore. So I was not at that level when I was your age. I'm barely at that level at this point because I still go out and buy myself whatever I want and waste money. My wife's like, "Why did you buy that?" I'm like, "Because I wanted it." So that's where we're at in life. So that's a very great answer. My favorite answer out of everybody I've interviewed over the past couple of years is Chris Godwin. Fellow wide
Mm,
receiver, said when he got to the NFL, he could afford to get himself LASIK eye surgery. And I'm like, he made
mm.
it to the NFL without it physically being able to actually see the ball. And he said, yeah,
That's
I was
wild.
a completely different world. So
Invest in
that's
yourself. Invest in yourself.
yeah. All right. Schedule's coming out soon. You're looking over the schedule. You see a matchup that really gets you excited. What's that matchup? Who's that player? Who's that team that you just want to go up against? Want to be matched up against? Want to, I'm guessing probably a corner or a DB. But who's that guy that you got your eye out for that you get excited to see when you get to play against them?
Um, Honestly, especially for me in my situation, and of course getting my feet wet and getting back, and now finally being able to just get back in the game for real. I'm excited to play any and everybody. Like I don't care who, I don't care when, where, I don't care what team. Just I'm excited to just play any and everybody. But to kind of answer the question, I will say I do get a lot more excitement when I either I'm about to play somebody that I played with or get like that went to
Right.
Alabama.
Alabama. Well, there's Alabama guys everywhere. So
Right, exactly. So I like when I'm about to play somebody I know and stuff like that because we have that competition like we did in college where it's kill or be killed, or whether it's somebody like I grew up watching, and it's probably like an older guy in the league and stuff, but somebody that like I would see on TV when I was still a kid, like wanting to be in the league. So those two. If it's like those two types of people, I get a lot of excitement for it.
all right, all right. All right. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Some simple vanilla or like cookie dough or something like that.
Look, I will die on this thorn about it, but vanilla is the best ice cream. It's not even my favorite, but it is the best because you can do anything with vanilla ice
Okay
cream,
then.
right? Like
Yeah.
chocolate sauce, peanut butter, whipped cream, whatever you
Uh-huh.
can do. Like you can dress up vanilla however you want. You can't do that with
Yeah.
anything else. So
Can't do it with anything else. You can't
that's
do it with anything else.
right. It's versatile. You put fruit with it, whatever you want. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a vanilla guy myself. I like peanut butter, but vanilla is the best ice cream. So,
Yeah.
all right. Favorite go-to karaoke song?
A go-to karaoke song. That's a good question. Um, what comes to mind? Maybe some Bob Marley song. Maybe like I Shot the Sheriff or something.
There you go. I like it. I like it going
Something
old
like that.
school too. I like it. I like it. All right, I'm gonna wrap up for you. All right, last one. It's from the kids, and a lot of people have been kind of unanimous with this recently, but especially what's happened over the NFL the past couple of years is right now, who is the best player in the NFL?
Right now, who's the best player in the NFL? Um, it's a great question, huh? That's a great question. I'm almost too much of a competitor to want to answer that question. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, oh, he just retired. I would say Aaron Donald.
That's fine. That count. We'll count it because they
Okay,
played this last year. We actually a couple of people have mentioned it. So Aaron Donald will count it. Count. We've heard a lot
boy,
of Patrick.
unblockable.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of Patrick Mahomes recently. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but we won't tell CJ that you didn't say your quarterback because that's how you get the ball. You know that, right? You're supposed to
Yeah,
say
my
your
dog,
quarterback.
my dog seven. My dog seven.
There you
Aaron
go. There
Donald
you go. I'm helping you
unblockable.
out. So there you go.
My Aaron Donald unblockable.
All right, there you go. All right. Well, thank you again. One of the youngest players to ever receive the Ed Block Courage Award, John Metchie. John, thank you. Congratulations on winning the award, and certainly appreciate you taking some time with us today. Looking forward to seeing you back out on the field next season. And you got some guys around you now, so there's a little bit more pressure on this year around after what we saw last year out of the Houston Texans. So excited to see how you guys improve on last year's nice little run that you had. So, congratulations, appreciate you, and looking forward to seeing you back on that field.
Thank you. Appreciate you for having me. And pressure is a privilege.